one of the worst reading slumps of my life, and in an attempt to get out of it and also to make any sort of dent in my ever-growing TBR, I'm going to read some of my 5-star predictions for the next few days, and hopefully we will find a 5-star book. So I'm at my cottage for the next few days, lots of time to sit in the sun and read a book. Let's get started. Happy Saturday. I have already been in swimming because it is very hot today, and we currently have 3 dogs 5 years and under to supervise, so I don't know how much reading I'm going to get in this weekend, to be honest. But our first book is going to be The 7-Year Slip because I have high hopes for that book. I'm excited to start reading it. We're going to sit in the sun, hopefully get some reading in between yelling at dogs and playing with dogs. Okay, it is 9 p.m. and it's so hot, so we're going for a swim. I'm 100 pages into The 7-Year Slip, so I will update you on that later, but I'm really enjoying it. So it's pretty late and I'm not going to talk too loud because there's a bunch of people sleeping in this house, but I'm 120 pages into The 7-Year Slip now and I love it so far. Ashley Poston's writing is so magical and beautiful and romantic. I don't think I talked about what this is about at all, but it's about Clementine West who moves into her late aunt's apartment. It's kind of like a portal in time, and she comes in and finds this random man in the apartment and she's like, what are you doing here? And realizes that he's from 7 years in the past, and then they just start talking and cooking together and it's so sweet. So I'm really excited to keep reading this. I've only read like a couple pages today. It's a busy day, but we're going into town now to get a s'mores cake because we're gonna do campfire tonight, and then hopefully I'll get some reading in later. I think this is a really good summer book. Somebody's so sleepy. I think I've been wearing the exact same swimsuit for the entirety of this video, but it's like 30 degrees and sunny and it's a perfect weekend to spend the entire day in the lake. So that's what we've been doing. Apologies if you can hear kids screaming because it's busy up here. But I've also been reading and I am now on page 260 of The 7-Year Slip and I am loving it, like to the point where I almost don't want to finish it because it's so good. Like I'm sad that it's gonna be over, which is a great sign. It's definitely 4 stars. I'll have to see if we get to 5 with the rest of the book. I think it's very possible. And like the romance in it, I love. It's so beautifully written, but it's also, these characters are so complex and I love the way they bring out like the happiest, purest forms of each other when they're together. Like it's so cute and it's making me like giddy reading it, which is what I love out of a romance book. But there's so much more to it than that too. Like we get the topic of grief a lot with the way that Clementine is dealing with the loss of her aunt, and also them kind of grappling with expectations that they set for themselves and people in their lives set for themselves when they're younger, and then maybe not wanting to do that later on and kind of feeling lost, which is really cool and a very like real take on adulthood. I feel like the magical realism I'm really enjoying. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it, but it's really cool to see the like contrast between them 7 years ago and them now. There's so much emotion in their interactions. I will say, oh my god, my arm's getting tired. I'm definitely the kind of person that questions everything, like how a world works and stuff in fantasy books, and in this I think you just kind of have to accept that you're never gonna know why this happens. It just happens. Like the apartment sends her back 7 years and like it just does that, and that's it. That's all we need to know, and you don't need to know anything else to enjoy the story and for the story to be good. So it's not a complaint about this book. It's just like sometimes if I think too hard about it, I'm like, how does this happen? why does it happen? I would love to know, but I'm not gonna know, and that's okay. I am really enjoying it. Every time I put it down, I'm thinking about it and I want to pick it up again. I also think I own like 3 Ashley Poston books at this point, so I'm really glad I'm enjoying it. But I think I'll definitely be finishing it today. I am home now, and I have also finished The 7-Year Slip. I finished it last night. This book was 5 stars. This was a 5-star book. I am so happy, and I also am not going to stop thinking about this for a very long time, probably. Sorry, my bed's kind of in the shot. I can't even begin to describe the way this book made me feel. It made me cry and laugh, and I just like, I can't get it out of my head. And I know it's only been a day, but I feel like it's gonna stick with me for a while. The romance in this is incredible, but there's also so much more to it than that, which I think I touched on a bit yesterday. And there's an author's note at the end of this book that I highly recommend reading when you finish the book because it adds a lot of context and it also made me cry. I'm just so excited to read more of Ashley Poston's writing. She has such a beautiful, romantic, kind of flowery way of describing things, but not where it feels too over the top. It just feels like this love for life almost in her books that is so wonderful to read. And I think if you've read The Flatshare by Beth O'Leary, which for me is also a 5-star book, this kind of gives me similar vibes to that in the characters and the way it's written and the way that they like support and connect with each other. So if you enjoyed that, I think you'd love this. You've probably read this, so many people have talked about it, but it is such an amazing book and I don't know why I put it off for so long. I think earlier in this video you might have seen me reading Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood, which I'm still in the middle of, but I'm enjoying it, but it's not going to be 5 stars. I already know that. So for the sake of this video, our next book is going to be Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, which is a bit of a switch up from The 7-Year Slip, but I think that's good because I don't love reading like a ton of romances back to back. I find it kind of drains me, and then I'm not like giving them the chance they deserve. So this book is about Rylan Grace, who is the sole survivor on a desperate last chance mission in space. So if he fails, humanity and Earth will perish, and he wakes up from a coma, I guess, in the space shuttle, and everyone else on the space shuttle is dead, and he has no memory of why he's on a space shuttle, but he has to figure it out or everything will cease to exist, I think. Very high stakes. Sounds great. I've heard so many people say this was a 5-star book for them, so I have high hopes. So I'm 75 pages into this now. I'm really enjoying it. It's actually really hard to put down. Like, you jump into the action of this book instantly, like first page, which is great. I love that. I really like his writing style. I haven't read anything by Andy Weir, and I don't know if his other books are the same, but I assume they're similar. It's got a very comedic tone to it, which is fun, and because it's just our main character alone trapped on a spaceship with no memories, we kind of are figuring things out in real time with him. Some of my high school physics knowledge is coming back to me with this, but you don't have to like know science to read it, which is good because I am not a science girly. Every chapter ends on like a big cliffhanger, which is good because it makes me want to keep reading. It has been such a nice day today. It is not humid, which is a rarity for a Canadian summer. So I just got back from a nice long walk and I did a decent amount of reading in the backyard today. I honestly don't even know how long this book is. I think it's like around 500 pages, a little under 500 pages, and I am currently on page 141. So we're like a fourth, a quarter. Why did I say a fourth? A quarter into the book. I don't really know how to update you without immediately spoiling everything. So far, still really liking Andy Weir's writing style. It's very entertaining and very bingeable. This book is very hard to put down because every chapter ends with him, like the main character, making this huge life-altering discovery, and it adds context to the story and the world, but it also builds intrigue and suspense. I'm liking that, and it's so nice to have two books back to back that I actually like am thinking about and looking forward to reading, because this genuinely has not happened to me since like March of this year. That's how bad this reading slump has been. I'm gonna read a little bit more tonight and hopefully actually go to bed at a reasonable time. I'm currently on chapter 13 of this book, and I think that's almost exactly halfway. It's very entertaining. I am having a blast reading this book, and it's also making me emotional about aliens. I really want to keep reading, but I'm actually so tired, which is common on Friday nights, honestly, but I'm gonna try and read a little bit more tonight before I go to bed. Oh, and I got this new cactus that I'm gonna show you guys that I put on my bookshelf. He's in the cutest little pot ever. It's like a little elephant, and I love him very much. That's all my updates, honestly. I will probably talk to you tomorrow. Happy Saturday. I did end up reading more last night. This book is actually addicting, so I think I'm on like page 250 now, and it is very nice weather today. So I am meeting my friend Angela at a cafe. We're gonna maybe do some reading. I say maybe because we said we would, but we're probably gonna talk for 3 hours instead. But hopefully we'll get a little bit of reading in, sit on the patio. He can't do anything.
Yeah. Her first relationship was her teacher.
Ew.
Yeah.
The alien was like, you're bad at math.
I bet.
Imagine if an alien told you you were bad at math. I think it's 5 stars. In case anyone wanted a mini grocery haul, I got oat milk. Earth's Own is my current favorite because if you're a Canadian, Silk, which is probably the most popular alternate milk brand out there, had this huge problem where they had like salmonella or something in their milks and everything got recalled. So I've been drinking Earth's Own lately and it's great. And that's all I went for, but of course I left with other things. I got these Made Good chocolate drizzled granola bites in birthday cake flavor. I thought this would just be nice to have if I want like a little sweet snack. And then I bought these morning blueberry rounds. Don't really know what they are, but they intrigued me, and I thought they'd be good with like peanut butter or something on them. So that's my very small grocery haul. I also got a coffee because me and my dog got trapped in the worst rainstorm this morning and I am like cold to the bone. But I've had time now to think about Project Hail Mary. I finished it last night, so let's go talk about my thoughts. I did finish Project Hail Mary last night, and it is in fact a 5-star book for me. I have been thinking about this nonstop, much like the 7-Year Slip. This was literally in almost all my dreams last night. The ending made me cry, it made me emotional, and it's that 5-star feeling. I've been trying to think of how to review this and give you my thoughts without spoiling everything because there's a lot that happens in this book. So I'm gonna go through some like bullet points on my thoughts on this book. First, the friendship in this. I love it. I love it so much. I am so attached specifically to one character. There's really only two characters in this book and I would die for one of them. So I absolutely love that. There is also zero romance in this book. If you're the kind of person that really wants romance in the books you're reading, this might not be for you, but there's so much happening. It's so action-packed that I really don't feel like you need it. It definitely kind of reads more like a thriller in that sense. I also think I said this literally every time I talked about this book, but I love Andy Weir's writing style. It's almost written like stream of consciousness, but in a way that's still very easy to read and understand. The writing is just very bingeable and very humorous. Like an example, without giving anything away, I make my way up to the control room and take a good long look at every screen. What I'm really looking for is something like information or here to save humanity, press this button to learn more. No such luck. After hours of poking at screens, I found nothing. I guess they figured if the crew are so brain mushy that they don't remember how to use the ship, probably not useful as scientists anyway. And then later on I decide on a more tactile approach. I'm gonna start pushing buttons. Hopefully there's no blow up the ship button. I think they would have kept that from happening. So just like little things like that where it's endlessly entertaining and amusing to read the way this man thinks. It's honestly surprisingly a light-hearted story for the majority of this book, even though the stakes are super high. I think because we're only in the head of this one guy and he is like for the most part on his own the entirety of this book, it feels very small scale even though it's actually like giant scale because he's literally in space trying to save Earth. I think that also makes this a more fun bingeable read because it doesn't feel very heavy even though the topic should be heavy, if that makes sense. And I think that is all I'm gonna say on this because I really think this is a book that's good to go into quite blind and to just learn as you go. I am shocked that we actually got 2 5-star books in this video. I was not expecting that and I am very, very pleasantly surprised. These both have very unique writing styles in very different ways. I think this one very poetic and romantic and just a beautiful story about love and loss, and this one is humorous and entertaining and also a surprisingly idealistic view on humanity. So I think both of these were very refreshing reads and I'm so happy, like they got me excited to read again, which is really what I wanted out of this because I've been in such a bad reading slump. Reading both of these books, when I put them down, I couldn't stop thinking about them and all I wanted to do was pick them up and keep reading, and I haven't felt that in a long time. Leave your recent 5 stars down below. I would love to keep my 5-star streak going. I don't know if I've ever had 2 5 stars back to back. If you enjoyed this video, you can subscribe, like, comment down below. It would mean so much to me. Thank you so much for watching and I will hopefully see you in my next one. Bye.